One day silver coins were money. The next day they were just shiny lies. The government started debasing currency. Less silver. Same face value. People didn't realize it immediately, but their lifetime savings were being silently stolen. Germany, 1923. Your salary in the morning was worthless by evening. People carried suitcases of cash just to buy a loaf of bread. A lifetime of savings, erased in days. Argentina, 2001. Banks shut down. Accounts frozen. Dollar deposits forcibly converted into pesos. Overnight, people lost 70% of their wealth. Every collapse shares one thing in common. Collapse never gives a warning, and when it does, it's already too late. Yet in every collapse, some people don't just survive. They rebuild. Not because they were smarter, not because they predicted the exact date, but because they followed principles that survive every collapse in history. Today, America stands in 2025. 36 trillion in national debt. The dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power since 1913. And history says one thing clearly. When debt explodes and currency is diluted, systems fail. The question isn't if collapse comes. The question is which side you'll be on when it does. Here are 5 financial principles that worked in Rome, Germany, Argentina, and in every collapse ever recorded. Principle number 1, hard assets survive. Paper burns. When currencies collapse, when governments default, when banks fail, paper is just a promise, and promises can be broken. In Weimar Germany, the mark died. In Zimbabwe, trillion-dollar bills became trash. But land, homes, gold, tools, and they remained real. A farm in 1923 still produced food. In 2008, it still produced food, and it still does today. Paper assets only work while the system works. Hard assets exist outside the system. Principle number 2, productive assets beat speculative assets. Speculation means someone else will pay more later. Production means this creates value on its own. During the Great Depression, stocks fell nearly 90%. But farms produced food. Rental homes provided shelter. Businesses provided work. In Venezuela, the stock market rose thousands of percent, while the currency collapsed. The bakery owner survived. The bondholder starved. In collapse, only what produces real value matters. Principle number 3. Debt is power in stability, poison in collapse. Debt works when income is stable. Collapse destroys income, but debt stays. In the 1930s, over 750,000 American farms were foreclosed, not because farmers were lazy, but because they carried debt. In Argentina, families owned homes, but mortgages destroyed them. Those without debt were poor, but they survived. Debt ties you to the system, and when the system falls, debt pulls you down with it. Principle number 4. Skills are the only truly portable wealth. Money can be taken, land can be seized, gold can be confiscated, but what's in your mind cannot be stolen. The Nazis confiscated Jewish property, but doctors, tailors, engineers survived. The Soviet Union seized estates, but mechanics, builders, craftsmen stayed valuable. Vietnamese refugees fled with nothing, except skills. They rebuilt entire lives from scratch. After collapse, money isn't king. Skills are currency. Principle number 5. Local trust networks outlast institutions. When banks close, when police disappear, when governments lose authority, people are all that remains. In Argentina, neighbors turned to barter. In Russia, communities survived through cooperation. Lebanon still functions because of family and local networks. Those who rely only on ATMs collapse. Those who rely on people endure. After collapse, currency doesn't matter. Trust does. Why these principles always work? Because they don't require prediction. You don't need dates. You need positioning. Hard assets work in good times and bad. Skills create income now and survival later. Less debt always means more freedom. Community always increases resilience. Those waiting for certainty are always the last to act. Collapse becomes obvious only after exits are closed. History has never spared those who ignore principles. Not in Rome. Not in Germany. Not in Argentina. And it won't in America. The only question is, will you position yourself now or regret it later?